Have you ever stood at a crossroads in your life, completely unsure of which way to go? Maybe it was deciding between two job offers, or choosing a city to move to, or even something as simple as picking what to study in school. It's a feeling we all know. You stand there. In your mind, both paths stretch out before you, shimmering with potential. One road leads to adventure and new friends. The other leads to stability and comfort. Before you take that first step, both futures feel equally real, equally possible. They exist as pure potential, a cloud of what-ifs and could-bes, all waiting for you to make up your mind. This moment of indecision is powerful, isn't it? Think about it. In that moment, you are not yet the person who took the job in the big city, nor are you the person who stayed close to home. You are both, and you are neither. You exist in a state of superposition, a term we'll get to in a bit. Every outcome is on the table. This isn't just a metaphor. It's a reflection of how the universe operates at its most fundamental level. The world of tiny, tiny particles, the building blocks of everything, behaves in this exact same way. Now, let's talk about an experiment that has puzzled and amazed scientists for over a century. It's called the double-slit experiment, and it is absolutely fantastic. Imagine you have a wall with two thin, parallel slits in it. On one side, you have a machine that shoots tiny particles, like electrons, one by one. On the other side, you have a detector screen that lights up wherever a particle hits it. It's like throwing tiny grains of sand at a fence with two openings. You'd expect to see two distinct lines on the screen behind the slits, right? That's just common sense. Two slits, two lines. Simple. But that's not what happens. When scientists perform this experiment without watching which slit the electrons go through, something extraordinary occurs. Instead of two lines, a completely different pattern appears on the screen. It's an interference pattern, a series of many stripes, which is the classic signature of a wave. Think about dropping two pebbles into a pond. The ripples from each pebble spread out and interfere with each other, creating peaks and valleys. This pattern on the screen means that each single electron somehow behaved like a wave. It seemingly went through both slits at the same time and interfered with itself. How cool is that? The scientists, being curious people, decided they wanted to know which slit each electron was actually going through. So they placed a little detector, a sort of tiny camera, right at the slits to watch. As soon as they turned on the detector to see, the interference pattern vanished. Poof, gone. In its place were the two simple lines they had originally expected to see. The very act of observing forced the electron to make a choice. When no one was looking, the electron existed as a wave of potential, exploring all possible paths at once. But the moment it was observed, it collapsed from a wave of possibilities into a single, definite particle in a single, definite place. Observation didn't just passively record reality, it actively participated in creating it. The universe, it seems, behaves differently when we're watching. And that brings us right back to you and your own life choices. Now let's take this incredible idea from the quantum world and apply it to our own lives. Think about your future. Before you make a major decision, your life is a lot like that unobserved electron. It exists as a wave of possibility. Every dream you have, every career path you could take, every person you could become, all of these potentials exist simultaneously. You could be an artist, a scientist, an entrepreneur, a teacher. All of these futures are real possibilities, swirling around you in a vast, shimmering field of potential. Nothing is set in stone. Your life is not a single predetermined path. This wave of potential is your creative playground. It's the space where all your what-ifs live. What if I moved to a new country? What if I started that business I've been dreaming about? What if I learned to play the guitar? Before you commit, before you take that first concrete step, each of these scenarios holds a certain energy, a certain probability. They are not yet your physical reality, but they exist as powerful ideas and potentials within your mind and within the universe. You are, in this state, pure potential. You are the sum of all the things you could be. This is a profoundly optimistic and empowering way to view your life. It means that your past does not have to dictate your future. It means that at any given moment, You have the capacity to tap into a new possibility and bring it into being. You are not stuck. You are not limited to the reality you see in front of you right now. You are standing in an ocean of possibilities, and you are the one who gets to decide which wave to ride to the shore. The universe isn't just happening to you. You are an active participant in its unfolding. So, how do we go from this beautiful wave of possibility to a concrete, lived experience? It all comes back to that key ingredient from the double-slit experiment: observation. Narrator, VO. In the quantum world, observation collapses the wave into a particle. In our lives, the equivalent of observation is our focus, our attention, our intention, and ultimately, our choice. Narrator, VO. When you decide on a goal and begin to pour your energy and attention into it, you are, in essence, telling the universe, this is the possibility I want to make real. You collapse the wave. Narrator, VO. Let's use a real-world example. Imagine you have a dream of becoming a writer. Right now, that dream is a wave. It isn't a book on a shelf yet. Narrator, VO. To collapse that wave into a particle, a finished manuscript, you must observe it. Give it focused, consistent attention. This is the human equivalent of putting a detector at the slits. Narrator, VO. This observation starts in your mind. You begin to think about it more seriously. You imagine yourself writing. You brainstorm ideas for characters and plots. You start giving the fuzzy wave form. Narrator, VO. Then you take action. Dedicate time every morning to sit down and write, even if just 15 minutes. You focus your energy, time, and actions on that one possibility. You are observing it into existence. Narrator, VO. All the other possibilities, becoming a chef, a marathon runner, a musician, fade into the background when you don't feed them attention. With every word you write, every chapter you complete, you collapse the wave further. Narrator, VO. The potential becomes more real and solid. You turn the abstract into the concrete. Take a writing class. Join a critique group. Submit a short story to a magazine. Each is an act of observation, a declaration that this is the reality you choose. Narrator, VO. You are no longer just someone who could be a writer. You are actively being a writer. This principle applies to anything. Narrator, VO. Starting a fitness journey begins with observing your health, deciding on a plan, scheduling workouts, focusing on nutritious food. Building a business starts with observing a market need and focusing your efforts on creating a solution. Narrator, VO. Your attention is the most valuable currency you have. Where you place your focus is where your reality will crystallize. You are the observer who decides which of the infinite possibilities becomes your lived experience. Narrator, VO. It's an incredible responsibility and an even more incredible opportunity. Now let's go back to our waves for a moment. In physics, when two waves meet, they can interact in two main ways. If their peaks and troughs align, they reinforce each other, creating a bigger, more powerful wave. This is called constructive interference. But if the peak of one wave meets the trough of another, they cancel each other out. That's destructive interference. This is a perfect metaphor for how your own thoughts and beliefs can either help or hinder your progress toward a goal. Your beliefs are the other waves that interact with the wave of your chosen possibility. Think about it. You've decided to become a writer. You are focusing your attention on this goal. This is your primary wave. Now, if you hold supportive beliefs such as, I am a creative person, I have important stories to tell, I can improve with practice, these beliefs act like waves in perfect alignment with your goal. They create constructive interference. They amplify your efforts, boost your motivation, make the path smoother. Your positive beliefs build a bigger, stronger wave of potential. It becomes easier to collapse it into the reality you desire. On the other hand, what if you harbor negative, limiting beliefs? I'm not talented enough. No one will want to read my work. It's too hard. I'll probably fail. I don't have the time. These thoughts are also waves, but they are out of sync with your goal. They create destructive interference. They meet the wave of your intention and cancel out its energy. They create self-sabotage, procrastination, doubt. They weaken your resolve and can completely flatten your wave of possibility, leaving you feeling stuck and powerless. This is why simply choosing a goal is sometimes not enough. If your beliefs are working against you, it's like trying to paddle a canoe upstream. You might make some progress, but it's an exhausting struggle. To truly harness your creative power, you must learn to align your beliefs with your desires, creating a powerful current of constructive interference that carries you toward your goals. We also have to become aware of the other waves, our underlying beliefs and assumptions, that are constantly interacting with our intentions. Your internal world of thought and belief is just as important as your external world of action. So how do we get our beliefs to work for us instead of against us? We have to do what any good scientist does: observe, record, and analyze the data. The data is your own thoughts. Here's a simple, practical experiment you can try. For 1 week, carry a small notebook or use a notes app on your phone. Become a thought catcher. Notice and write down negative beliefs, especially when you think about an important goal. Let's stick with our writer example. You sit down to write. The thought, "This is terrible," appears. Write it down. You think about submitting your story and the thought, "I'm just going to get rejected," surfaces. Write it down. Maybe you see a successful author's post online and think, "I'll never be that good." Write it down. Don't judge the thoughts or try to fight them just yet. The first step is simple awareness. You are just collecting data, observing the destructive interference patterns in your own mind without getting swept away by them. At the end of the week, take a look at your list. You will likely see some recurring themes. These are your core limiting beliefs. Now, the next step of the experiment is to challenge them. Next to each negative thought, write a more constructive, supportive thought. It doesn't have to be an outlandish, unbelievable affirmation. It just has to be a little better. For example, instead of "This is terrible," write, "This is a first draft," and all writers start with a first draft. Instead of "I'll never be that good," try "I can improve my skills with consistent practice." This practice isn't about magically erasing negativity. It's about consciously introducing a new wave, a constructive wave, into your mental environment. You are actively choosing to create a different thought pattern. Over time, as you consistently practice noticing the destructive thought and replacing it with a constructive one, you begin to rewire your brain. You weaken the destructive interference and strengthen the constructive interference. You become the scientist of your own mind. Intentionally design an internal environment that supports the reality you want to create. It's a powerful experiment. You are the lead researcher. Let's bring all these amazing ideas together into a practical toolkit for what we might call quantum living. It's a way of moving through the world with a conscious awareness of your own creative power. It's not about magic. It's about applying these profound principles from science to your own life in a deliberate way. The first tool in your kit is the understanding that your life, at any moment, is a field of infinite potential. You must regularly remind yourself of this. You are not fixed or stuck. You are a wave of possibility, always. This mindset is the foundation for everything else. The second tool is your focused attention. Remember, your attention is the mechanism by which you collapse potential into reality. You must learn to be intentional about where you place it. Consciously choose a goal and decide to observe it. Dedicate your time, energy, and actions to it. Protect your focus. Minimize distractions. Your focus is your creative superpower. The third tool is the belief aligner. Become a vigilant observer of your internal world. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings. When you notice limiting beliefs or negative self-talk, don't ignore them. Acknowledge them and introduce a constructive thought to counteract them. Manage your inner wave patterns so they amplify your intentions. Your inner world creates your outer world. Finally, the fourth tool is conscious choice. Every day is filled with hundreds of small choices. What you eat, how you speak to people, what you read, what you do with your free time. Each choice is a small act of collapsing a wave. Each one reinforces a certain reality. Make choices aligned with the future you want, and you build momentum. You are consistently voting for the reality you desire. With these tools, you are no longer a passive passenger in your life. You are the one in the driver's seat, navigating the quantum field of possibility. The universe is a truly wondrous and mysterious place. The fact that the building blocks of reality exist in a state of pure potential until they are observed is one of the most profound discoveries in all of science. It suggests that consciousness, our awareness, our attention, is not just a random byproduct of evolution, but a fundamental aspect of the cosmos. It plays an active role in shaping reality itself. And you, yes you, possess this incredible power. You are not separate from the universe. You are a part of the universe that has become self-aware. This means you are far more powerful than you might believe. You are the conscious observer of your own life story. You have the ability to look out at the infinite sea of potential, choose a destination, and use your focus and intention to bring that shoreline into view. You can choose which waves to amplify with your beliefs and which ones to let pass by. This isn't about controlling every little thing that happens to you, but about consciously choosing how you engage with the world and what reality you nurture into existence through your attention and action. Embrace this role. See your dreams not as fantasies, but as real possibilities waiting in the quantum field for your observation. See your challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to refine your focus and strengthen your beliefs. Engage with your life as a grand and exciting experiment. Be curious, be intentional. Pay attention to what you're paying attention to, because that is the raw material from which your life is built. You are a co-creator with the universe. So go forth and be the amazing, conscious creator you were born to be. Stand at the crossroads of your life not with fear, but with a sense of wonder and excitement. You are the observer. You get to choose. The wave of infinite possibility is all around you right now. What particle of reality, what beautiful, unique, and wonderful experience will you choose to create today? The universe is waiting for your decision. The possibilities are, quite literally, endless. Consider that. Consider.